Hello cyclists, welcome today. The brand new, very compact, very cool, loaded with features, the Carrie bike from Riese and Müller. As you probably know, there's a lot happening concerning cargo bikes. They become more compact and more agile, and they're loaded with new features because when you have a closer look what happened over the last couple of years, cargo bikes become more and more common and people get used to it. The concept behind this bicycle is, first of all, to offer a cargo bike that is super small and super slim, because the measurements are almost like a regular bicycle. So it is 209 centimeters long, and you can even turn the handlebars so it becomes even more slimmer. So if you don't have so much space like in front of your home or in your garage or maybe in your floor in your apartment building, then this bicycle won't take more space than a regular bicycle. So the first question, if you're looking for a new bike, is how does your everyday look like? So what do you need? What do you want? And also, how do you feel comfortable? So what should the sitting position look like? And I would start indeed with the sitting position, because this bicycle can do a lot. And the sitting position is like super flexible, because of course you can adjust the height of the saddle, but you can also adjust like the angle of the handlebars. So it's super easy if you want to ride more sportive, you just bring it a bit more forward, or you can sit very upright like I do, and then you do see what's happening around you. Well, this actually is the setup like how I would choose it. So this so-called flex box is not regular, so you have to order it extra. Usually the basic version is a basic box where you can easily fit in groceries. It has the measurements of a crate for drinks. But I would say almost everyone would choose the so-called flex box. And the name says it, it's super flexible because you can easily open it, and then it has the setup, if you want to, for children. So you can easily fit in 2 children, 2 smaller ones with 5-point seat belts, or you can adjust the bank and there's enough space for a taller child up to 7 years. That's what Riese Müller says. To be honest, we tried it with our son who's 12 years. Was not the perfect solution, but we did some tours and it was totally okay. And because the capacity is up to 80 kilograms, I asked my husband if he could take me for a ride, because I just wanted to know how it feels to sit in front of the cargo bike. And there's enough space for groceries. When it's close, I would say it's enough for 2 or 3 days for a family. And if I do like the week groceries on the weekend, then if I open it up, there's enough for crates, or even for 2 crates and some bags. And for me, this is perfect because it is a lockable box. So whenever I go for lunch, for example, I can just leave my backpack, my big bag, inside the box and it is locked. If you want to use it as a cargo bike to transport your children, of course it comes with a rain tent. And this rain tent is super clever and also sustainable. It protects your children not only from the rain and wind, but also from the sun. And that is something that is super important. And you can even put down some flaps and then they're really in the shade. Super important. How does it feel like to cycle this Carrie long john compact cargo bike? For me, as I said, it was very comfortable because I was sitting very upright, and the saddle that is not only looking really beautiful from Celle Royale, an Italian company, it was really nice to sit on. And in combination, as you can see, and this is actually something you can choose, so the basic version does not include the seat post suspension, and this one is of course a high quality accessory. It's the Bosch seat post suspension, so it was super comfortable to cycle over cobblestone, because in addition it has a suspension fork from front to in the front. So I did choose 2 very horrible cobblestone streets in Hamburg, and I did test the bicycle. It was super easy, really. It felt like a brand new street. So if you're thinking about what accessories to choose, I would always say definitely the flex box and of course the suspension seat post. Due to the fact that this frame geometry is very compact and very special, it took me a couple of rides to feel really secure cycling this bicycle, but just the few first meters. So I definitely suggest take this bicycle for a test ride, give it a try, and then you'll experience something very agile, very compact, very sportive, even though it is a long john. Riese and Müller did choose a motor from Bosch. German engineering, very reliable and very powerful. With 65 Newton meters, this motor was a joy to ride in Hamburg. I mean, Hamburg is pretty flat, but I took it to some hills and steeper roads and it was, I mean, really super easy. I have to say, you do have different modes of pedal assistance, and most of the time I did choose the auto mode. But of course you can also choose the eco mode. There you only get a little support when you want to do more muscle work, and you can also choose the sport and attention. Most of my male friends do that, the turbo mode. And of course the motor has a torque sensor. So a torque sensor measures how hard you push the pedal and therefore gives you the right exact amount of support you need. So therefore it is like cycling a regular bicycle, but with an extra bit of support. All the information you need you find here on this display. It's the Purion display. And you can shuffle between different information that is displayed. You can also connect the whole system to the e-bike Flow app. And of course you can choose between the different modes of pedal assistance. There is a walk assist, and of course you can switch on and off the lights, and of course you switch on and off the motor. What I really like is that it's colorful, and no matter how bright the sun is shining, you always definitely see what is happening on the display. So what I always choose and what you always see, of course, is how the battery is charged, and usually I want to see how fast I am or what the range is that is left in the battery. So how far can I cycle? Speaking about batteries, it is the Bosch Power Pack, and you can choose between two different batteries. The 445 watt-hour battery, and if you want to cycle more and you need a bigger range, then you can choose the 750 watt-hour battery. The range, it always depends on like how you cycle, so what mode of pedal assist you're choosing, how heavy you are, is it very hilly and steep, and of course do you have to cycle against the wind. But in my opinion, for me, I'm commuting more or less 10 kilometers a day. The 445 watt hours was definitely enough. I had to charge my bike once a week. Riese and Müller did choose my most favorite gearing system. It's the NViolo Heavy Duty. It's located in the rear hub, so it needs no service at all. And what I really love about NViolo, and I cycle this for 5-6 years now, is that it's the shifter, you always find the right gear. So when you're stopping at the red light, you just easily go into the lightest gear, the lowest gear, and you just go. It's a fantastic feeling, and in my opinion, I can't go back to a regular gearing system. So I definitely give my thumbs up for the NViolo, especially the Heavy Duty. This bicycle is equipped with a kickstand. This is actually an own development, and it's perfect even when the bicycle is loaded pretty heavy. Of course, it has a lighting system in the front and in the back. It is super bright and also really nice looking. So the front light fits perfectly into the design, and I like it that the rear light is integrated or put on the mudguard. Also, something that I really love is that it comes with a lock from Bosch, and this one key is not only for this ring lock, but it is also for the battery. As an extension, what you can choose is a chain from Bosch, so you have one key, one lock, and also the chain to secure your bicycle even more. When you do cycle a lot, what you want are tires where it's pretty difficult to have a flat tire. And that's always a good decision if the manufacturer chooses Schwalbe tires. And in this case, it's Big Bend Plus. So they do have the reflective stripe in the middle, so it secures you even more when you're cycling at night, and sufficient in the German law. But it's also pretty puncture proof. And they're pretty thick and wide. So this gives you an even more comfortable riding experience because it is sort of like a suspension. What I really love is the design of the bicycle, because if you watched my reviews every now and then, you know it's super important for me to arrive in style, and I love the design because Riese Müller has an engineering history. And if you have a closer look at the older models, you see the heritage, because the bicycles were pretty solid and very technical. But over the last couple of years, there was a transformation within the brand and also within the bicycle models. And you see they become more urban, more feeling more like a lifestyle item, but still offering like the highest quality, and every little detail is thought through. And this would also be definitely my choice, because this is called Aqua, it's a blue, but you also have Anise, which is a bit green tone, and you do have Shadow, what I would describe as also very chic, like an off-white. You do have two different options. The one is like this one with a belt drive from Gates, the CDX, with the Enviolo and the rear hub, or you do have the touring setup, which comes with a regular chain and with a derailleur in the back. For me, I would always go for the belt drive, because a belt drive lasts up to 3 times longer than a chain, and there is no oil or grease. And if it's really dirty, then you just take a damp cloth and clean the belt. When you do order the flex box, there is a rain cover inside. So you do have elastic straps where you can easily put the rain cover in if you don't need it. Also, there are some accessories you can order. I will definitely also put a link to the description. What I think is pretty cool is that there's a huge bag of 190 liters that you can easily put into the box, and you can take it out with the groceries, or you can fix it with screws to the box. What was bothering me? So there were two things. I mean, there is an anti-slippery surface on the pedals, and the pedals are really beautiful, but when it was raining and I was wearing sneakers one time and ballerinas with a leather sole, the pedals were slippery for me. Don't know if it was my fault, I'm not pretty sure, but that was something that didn't feel really cool when I was slipping off the pedal. And also it was a bit strange for me not to know how to cycle this bicycle in the beginning. So the first couple of rides where I felt really insecure, because I think it is because of the frame geometry, but after a while I got really used to it. So maybe it's also something very individual. Well, I really do like how you open and close the box, but I'm not 100% sure. Sometimes I think maybe there is in the future another solution, because like the strings, they look, I don't know, like not 100% perfect. And in a city like Hamburg, I always have to be afraid, because there's so much vandalism happening if someone comes with the scissors and just cut them off. But it's like owning the first series of an iPhone. It's like already super perfect, but maybe there is an evolution in the future. So definitely like concerning the quality, the design, like the efficiency, and also like the smartness in terms of all the features that Riese Müller offers with the Carrie. It will be very difficult for me after a couple of weeks testing this bicycle to return it to Riese Müller. Of course, they do have a price. So this model is more than 7,000 euros. It really depends on what accessories and parts you do choose extra. The Carrie for me is a super interesting evolution of cargo bikes. It is a long john, but it's also like a regular bike. It's super flexible and it is sustainable, which is super important for me. And yes, the price, it's very costly, with more than this bicycle and this setup, more than 7,000 euros. But if you do have a closer look at what Riese Müller offers, and if you really maybe want to swap your car, this could be a really good alternative. So the price is of course a lot, but in my opinion, if you're very serious and if you compare it to the costs of a car, I would definitely still give my thumbs up. Carrie from Riese Müller, absolutely a fantastic bicycle.